Greetings and konnichiwa, and welcome to the Onyx Tavern. I'm your host, Rick the Barkeep, bringing you episode 194 here at the Tavern, presented by HeroTaku.com. First, I want to immensely apologize to all my fans out there, all you patrons of the Tavern. I know it's been a very long time since I have posted a video up here. And guys, I'm just really sorry about that. There have been some unusual circumstances and a lot of things preventing me from doing this. All those are excuses, of course, and I just deeply apologize that I haven't been able to keep up with the news and the content in the last several weeks or months at this point. But this is a new year. It's 2017. My situation has settled down for the most part, so now I have the opportunity to at least catch up on a few things with you guys. I will be, of course, talking about the movie news, the new Sentai with Q Ranger, Ninja Steel. But today, I want to go ahead and start with something that, frankly, is a little bit more meatier, simply because there's a lot to really dissect and digest about this. So, to kick off 2017 and to make up for lost time, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the final episode of Power Rangers Dino Supercharge, End of Extinction. Now, here's the thing about End of Extinction. It is both the worst and best series finale in Power Rangers that we've ever had. And the reason I say that is it really is a mixed bag. Because here's the thing, folks. It has a great premise. It has some great ideas that it's trying to get through. But boy, is the execution horrible. And frankly, the payoff is... It's not even good. It's not bad. I don't know what you would go ahead and call it, but today we're going to go ahead and dissect it as best I can. I would love to do a full video review of this at some point, but I think today just kind of talking about it and getting it out there is going to be most helpful. And now that some time has passed, a lot of the concerns that I have are not an immediate reaction, but problems that still linger even after viewing it. Because you guys know, you watch an episode and you immediately bring up problems, but then you have time to digest and those problems aren't so bad. Not with End of Extinction, because it's got problems, and those problems still stick with it. And actually, one of the big issues with this is the lead up to the final episode. Now, we have a lot of Power Ranger finals that really don't have any lead up to them, and frankly didn't need a lot of lead up. The entire season itself, comes to a culmination in the end. A good example and a prime example of a really great final that really had no direct lead up would be Countdown to Destruction. Because the whole story throughout that season, of course, was finding Zordon, getting Astrama back on their side, and so forth and so forth. And of course, the final act of that was the total invasion of the universe. The stakes had never been higher, but we didn't need episodes exactly leading up to that. True, we had a few where the Mega Voyager and the Delta Megazord were destroyed, but, it wasn't like we needed serialization to get up to that point, because it really, you jump into it, and everything kind of pays itself off that you've been watching the entire season. The problem with End of Extinction and its lead up is that we got... it's obviously the culmination of paying off what we were doing with Sledge, now that he had reappeared, but it seems so disjointed because the lead up to it was in the background of our episodes. And what do I mean by that? Well, first of all, what was the lead up to End of Extinction exactly? What episodes were leading up? Well, we had Warg World, where we had an animatronic caveman that Koda kind of bonds with, that he uses to help distract people who are turned into quote-unquote zombies. You see, that episode had a major plot point in it, and that's where, Snide and Heckle were able to break away from each other into two separate halves. But here's the problem. That was the B story, that was in the background, where our front story, our A story, was the whole thing about Warg the robot. True, it did pay off in the plot, but tell me, guys, where did Warg actually, play into the final act of this series? How was that important? It's like the plots were inverted. What was important, which was the separation of our villain, should have been the main focus, and the Warg thing should have been the B story. And then I'll give you another example. Ivan runs into a modern day tag artist who looks identical to him, which means he's his great 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 grandson, however great it is exactly. That was our A story, folks, and how Ivan has to get used to his grandson not being what he kind of expected in being an artist and his brand of art, basically. That was an A story only a few episodes away from the final of the series, and that in no way pays off for the character of Ivan in any significant way, nor does it lay any type of groundwork for End of Extinction. So the problem that End of Extinction has is it obviously has a lot to do in the final episode because we have these little pieces going forward, but the main stories that we had leading up to that with, the Warg world and everything else, it just didn't pay off. It didn't lead into it. So there's a lot riding on this episode in the final, 22 minutes of the series to do everything it needs to go ahead and do. Okay, so here's some other issues that I take with the episode. Now, the idea of the dark inner gem. Okay, I get it. You create 10 inner gems. They're made of goodness and light and blah, 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 and all that. And then you have a dark inner gem that's created from pure darkness. And of course, the Rangers have to destroy it. They can't destroy it with their Zords. Energy-based weapons don't seem to go ahead and affect it. Now, of course, Riley comes up with the idea that, well, if it's created by darkness, then maybe pure light should be able to go ahead and defeat it. And here is the plan that they set in motion here. And this is kind of where I'm first losing the episode. Their plan, and again, I hope you guys seen the episode here, but bear with me in this because I'm going to try and do it without laughing. Their plan is to get everyone on Earth, on the bright side of Earth, given this point, to hold up mirrors to reflect the sun's rays from the planet, from Earth, to the Dark Energy Gem to destroy it. Let me repeat that again. Get everybody on Earth where the sun is shining in the daytime hours to hold up mirrors to reflect the light onto the Dark Energy Gem. That is the brilliant plan from the character who is supposed to be the most logical and smartest character throughout our entire series. Yes. Okay. Now, I also have to preface this by saying that I am no scientist by any means. I was not even a science major in college, okay? But it would seem to me that that plan would not work. I mean, I'm sure that if you got everybody in Texas to hold up a mirror at the same time, you might get some reaction, but obviously not in the way that the episode is depicting. I don't think that even if you got everybody in North America to hold up a mirror, that you can get the light to shine in that regard. Now, throwing that science out of it, and don't worry, we're going to talk more about science, because this episode is science fail on every level. Forgetting that for a minute, isn't the logical thing here to do to just take the Dark Energy Gem and fly it into the sun? I mean, come on, folks. Think about that for a second. Alright, so Riley's going off the idea that pure light's going to go ahead and destroy it. And he's right. Pure light can go ahead and destroy it. And again, they reflected the light, and again, okay. But why not take the Plesio Zord, fly up to the sun, and just throw the Dark Energy Gem into the sun? Because you're going to have, one of three outcomes. Either A, the pure light will go ahead and destroy it, and you're at the source, it's right there, there's nothing to go ahead and prevent it. B, the thermonuclear reaction of the sun is so powerful that it will destroy it, because as powerful as the Dino charged Zords are, I don't think that they're nuclear, or at least that powerful. So the sun should be able to destroy it that way. Or C, it does nothing, and the Dark Energy Gem is lost into the sun for all time, I guess. Unless you can go into the sun and actually extract it, but again, who knows what they can actually go ahead and do. So you guys see where the problem is here. And I do want to point out that this episode was written by 3 people, one of which is a longtime Power Rangers writer and the lead producer, executive producer on the series, Judd Chip Lin. And here's the thing, Judd Lin, he writes great episodes, but he's also written some stinkers in the past, He's kind of up and down, but he's more consistently good than he is bad, I will go ahead and say this. So I don't know what part of the script was Lynn's and what part of it was Barnes and Dale, the other two writers. But we had three writers on this episode. And it's just amazing to me that you have three writers. And not only do you have science fails here, but you miss the most logical thing. Because again, I think I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to recreate what they did in Countdown to Destruction, where the citizens rise up and help defeat the aliens. Now, it's significantly different here, of course, but they seem to be trying to tap into that. They're trying to find what made, Countdown to Destruction good, and obviously the sacrifice, or the willing to sacrifice themselves from the humans and the civilians in Countdown to Destruction is kind of mirrored here. No pun intended, excuse me. But it just doesn't work that way. And if really they had excised that entire part and just thrown the damn energy gem into the sun, you could have gotten the same result. Because, well, what happens here, folks? What happens when they destroy the dark energy gem? It creates a black hole. A black hole that not only destroys Sledge and his entire ship of cronies, but the entire Earth itself. Now, this is where I'm saying that there are some good things in this episode, because what did I say about Countdown to Destruction? The stakes had never been higher, an assault on the entire universe. Now, the stakes are the highest that they have ever been in the history of Power Rangers. Because Countdown to Destruction, that's invasion of the entire universe, okay? So they're just conquering our planet. RPM, yes, he did wipe out most of humanity, Vengeance did, but humanity was not completely destroyed and the planet was still there. The Rangers inadvertently and by total accident create a black hole that destroyed the entire Earth. And every person that we ever met, ever knew, ever cared about is gone. That's it. In a blink of an eye, taken into a black hole. That is the highest the stakes have ever been in Power Rangers. I mean, think about that, guys. When was the last time that the Earth was destroyed in Power Rangers, let alone by the Rangers themselves? I mean, that's amazing. That's a good story right there. But then they have to muddle it in the story and they have to mess it up and screw it up where it's not that interesting. Because, okay, so here's the thing that I have, and I want to talk about the acting and lack thereof. Because you know what are actors supposed to do? They're supposed to act, right? So when the Earth is destroyed, we have all the Rangers kind of reacting to what's happening. But the problem is that they are in their suits with their helmets still on. And we're not there to see them emote to give their reactions. Let's go back to Countdown to Destruction. And I hate to go back there, but that is, again, the best finale we've ever had in Power Rangers, and that really should be the watermark. I think that all other finales should not be so much judged by, but measured up to in a way that you have to kind of try and surpass the best in a way. And again, that they try this here, but they fail it. Okay, so again, Andros has killed Zordon, saved the universe. He lands Dark Fortress on Earth, and he's carrying the dead body of his sister in his arms, and he is unmoored. And he's standing over her body and he's crying because he succeeded in his mission, but he had to kill his friend in Zordon, or supposed friend, as the dialogue suggests, and he inadvertently killed his sister. And what does Andros do? What does the actor do with it? He cries, he emotes, he is beyond heartbroken that this has happened to him. Now imagine that same scene, but he was still morphed. As cool as the helmets are, folks, you can't see them cry or do anything unless you take the visor off or take the damn helmet off. Now compare that to End of Extinction, when they're in their helmets and they're not emoting. The whole world has been destroyed. Everybody that you care about. We saw Shelby's father amongst the citizens who were shining the lights out there. No mention of her father being dead. She's not crying. She's not in agony. I think she or one of the other Rangers dropped to their knees, but that's about it. We don't get. It's like it's bam, bam, get in, get out kind of things. Like one plot point to the next. All right, get up into space. Put the lights out. Destroy the dark energy. Oh no, there's a black hole. Sledge is gone. The Earth is gone. Oh, we need to use the special ability to time travel now. There's no room to breathe for our actors to let the immensity of what has happened sink in. They have killed 6 billion people on accident, folks, and it doesn't show in the acting. And I don't think this is an issue for the actors. I just think that they were not given the opportunity to act. And I don't know if that starts in the script or if that was the directing. But frankly, guys, if I was looking at that script and if I was a director and saying you destroy the entire world and you're distraught by it, you need to do a little bit more than what they did. I would say take off the helmet, start crying. I mean, Shelby and Tyler are a relationship. How come they're not holding each other? And Shelby's crying, and Tyler's like, "It's okay. We're gonna find some way to fix this." I don't, or maybe he's broken down, doesn't know what to do. Riley, the smartest of them, he's bam, he doesn't know what to go ahead and do because science has failed him, and it was his plan that led to this. He should be the most distraught of anybody because he's the one decided to go ahead and do this. Or Ivan and Coda, because Coda, what was the old saying is that the Romans had the weapons to destroy each other, but not the weapons to destroy the world. And Coda, a simple caveman, still getting used to our world, can't fathom the fact that the entire world is gone. Not only did he lose his family and his home, but now that he's adjusted to that, essentially adjusted into modern times, how's he going to adjust to no planet and now having to go live out in space as the next possible option? Or does he even fathom, does it break him as a person? Does it break any of them as people for this to go ahead and happen? We don't get any of that. And it's a real waste. It's a real shame that none of that is actually explored in this moment. Because again, you could have taken this moment and you could have stretched that out. You could make this gut wrenching moment as like the core of your episode. That the main thing you have to go off of is the reaction to the Rangers and what do they do now? They are screwed. What do you do with this? And what do? Um, they time travel. That's the big surprise, folks. That's the big power of the Energems, the ability to time travel. Oh, no, don't get me wrong. That's a tremendous power, the ability to go back in time and change history. I get it. And that's obviously what Sludge was after in the beginning, to get the Energems to change history somehow. I don't know exactly what his ultimate goal was for changing history, but there you go. That's ultimately what he wanted to go ahead and do. But guys, think about this for a second. Time travel has been a plot that we've used throughout the entire history of Power Rangers, going all the way back to the first season, and by the way, an entire season named after the concept of time travel. Time travel is not big in Power Rangers. It's nothing new, it's nothing flashy, it's nothing you were used to before. But you're telling me that the secret of the Energems, that when all 10 of them get together, allows you to travel through time? That's it? I mean, stop me here, folks, and if you've seen Doctor Strange, I apologize for the spoiler here, but the Infinity Stone that Doctor Strange wields in his movie is the Time Stone, okay? The ability to go back and forward through time, okay? That's one Infinity Stone. You're telling me 10 Energems are doing the work of one Infinity Stone? Frankly, I'm not impressed. I'm really not. Because Master Vile had the Orb of Doom for him to do it. Zed had to cast a spell of some sort. The Zeo Crystal could restore time itself. How come Sludge wasn't after the Zeo Crystal? The Energems are scattered. The Zeo Crystal is still whole out there somewhere, and it's only got 5 pieces if it was split up at some point. And again, you have Time Force. He waited around 65 million years to get the Energems. He could have waited another 1,000 years and had easy access to time travel in the year 3000 with Time Force. I'm just saying here, folks, that it's not impressive that time travel is the big MacGuffin of the series, that the ability to time travel could have been obtained in other ways if you know your Power Rangers history. And for Sledge, who sat around on his butt for 65 million years, could have found another way to time travel and not have to worry about this. So, there we go. Okay. Now, it is clever that they do time travel. They go back 65 million years to when Keeper lands on Earth, and, they stop the Energems from being bonded and scattered and so forth. So that part is clever, too. What is Also concerning as well, and this is something I brought up in my original analysis of Dino Charge when it first came out, is that Sledge is a bounty hunter. That doesn't mean he's pure evil. Bounty hunters, for the most part, are vigilantes who are sent out by the government to collect bounties. Okay, um, again, Boba Fett is a good example. King Schultz from Django Unchained is a good example here. So let me just kind of bring this to your all's attention. Let's assume for the moment that the bounty hunter in Dino Charge was Boba Fett. Okay? And Slave One was his ship that he was using to fight the Rangers and the monsters and things like that. And of course, Fett has a cargo hold, maybe a small prison full of different creatures and monsters that he's taking the Jabba or the Empire or somebody else to collect bounties on. Well, if you recall from Empire Strikes Back, who did Sledge capture? Oh, that's right, Han Solo, who does have a bounty on his head by Jabba the Hutt. But he's our protagonist in Star Wars. He is essentially a good guy in Star Wars. Okay, I know that's an odd concept, but yeah, Han Solo was the good guy, whether he shot first or not. So imagine that the Rangers take Slave One with Boba Fett and Han Solo and Carbonite in the cargo hold and fling them into the sun to destroy them. That means that the Rangers basically killed a good and somewhat innocent character just so they could defeat the main bounty hunter of the series. That's basically what they did, folks, is that they took Sledge, destroyed him, Poisandra, Fury, all those others, destroyed them, but did not care about the people who were also on his ship. Because we never got all the monsters. We never got to see all of them do anything. How do we know that none of them were innocent in there? That they were just captured by Sledge for whatever reason? Again, I thought he was supposed to be ambiguous, that he was actually doing some sort of good just so he can get, his reward, money, or he actually believed in the cause of the government that he was working for. But no, he's just pure evil. So if he's just pure evil, then how do we know that there aren't some good people on that ship that the Rangers killed, in a sense that Sledge is rounding up? Again, what if there is some sort of galactic holocaust going on and a certain race or a group of people are being oppressed and Sledge is collecting bounties on them, putting them in his cargo hold to take to Space Hitler or whatever for a bounty? Then again, the Rangers are killing innocent people. They didn't think this through, folks. That's what I'm saying. Not everybody on that ship, I believe, was pure evil, that there could have been innocents on there, and the Rangers didn't think about it. Let's also bring up the fact that when the ship was destroyed, logically, Snide and Heckle should have been destroyed as well. But the implication is that somewhere between 65 million, in that 65 million year span, that they went and captured Snide and Heckle, put them onto a ship. But now you have a causality paradox going on here, and again, we're not going to get into that exactly at this point. All right, so then the Rangers, they destroy him. Everything is done. Excuse me. Everything is done. And now they have the ability to go back in time to any point. Here's another issue that comes up. They send Coda and Ivan back to their original time periods. So Coda gets to go back and be a caveman again. Ivan gets to go back and gets to be a knight. Now, once again, they didn't really do much acting and didn't have very heartfelt goodbye, but you get what you get. They sent them back in time. And the Rangers come back to modern day. And here's the thing about that, is they come back to modern day. But what was something that was established within the first two or three episodes of Dino Charge? They've established the fact that when you're bonded to an energem, you become immortal. That's how Coda survived. That's how Ivan survived. That's how they were able to get through the entire series, without any fancy tricks of time travel, just saying, oh, that they just never age and that's what was keeping them alive. Okay, fair enough. That's fine. I have no issue with that. But now you have it, that Coda and Ivan go back to their original times, still bonded to their energems, I might add. And the Rangers come back to the present, and Coda or Ivan are nowhere to be seen. Because what we have is a Vandal Savage situation going on with Coda and Ivan here, where they're in their own time, they have knowledge of the future, and they are immortal, and they should still be alive when the Rangers get back. But we never discuss that. That's never brought up whatsoever. Here's another thing that's not brought up, and it's also a big issue, is okay, as we've established, the meteor that Sludge was tailing was what originally killed all the dinosaurs 65 million years ago and deposited the dino gems for the Dino Thunder Rangers to get a hold of. And here's the big thing, when the Rangers come back to the future, turns out dinosaurs never went extinct in the first place because they stopped Sledge, they got rid of the asteroid, threw them into the sun, and now dinosaurs and humans coexist. Again, I'm no science expert. I wasn't even a science major in college, but that would not happen, folks. That just here's the thing. You really can't have a parallel between evolution between dinosaurs and humans. It just can't happen, and you expect certain things to happen. It's not like, first of all, from my knowledge of the meteor that hit 65 years ago, what that belief is that because it caused an extinction, because it caused an ice age and all those problems, it killed the lizards and the dinosaurs and higher life forms like that, but gave rise to smaller mammals, which eventually became Homo sapien, that became us. That event helped trigger our evolution, because basically, if dinosaurs were still around, we humans could not have survived with those creatures. We could not cohabitate, much in the same way that Homo sapien and Neanderthals could not cohabitate. That they went extinct. You have the genetic arms race, and one won out and the other lost, and that humans would have lost out to dinosaurs in evolution, because if dinosaurs and humans were around, you couldn't have had that. But no, the series is saying that yes, dinosaurs and humans coexisted into the modern day, to the point where we put dinosaurs into zoos that is Jurassic Park, without genetic manipulation of any kind, that they're just there. That apparently dinosaurs did not evolve over a 65 million year time period, but humans did. We started as lower mammals and life forms, and somehow we evolved, but the dinosaurs did not, to the whole point where we have them in parks now. Let's bring up in our franchise, my favorite, Star Trek. What did Distant Origin teach us is that the Voth were a species of dinosaurs that escaped the extinction level event that was caused in the Star Trek universe on Earth, and they eventually evolved into bipedal form. Now, of course, we can debate what's going on with the Star Trek evolution kind of stuff, but the fact remains, they evolved. Their dinosaurs evolved. But in Power Rangers, dinosaurs do not evolve. That's the end for them. Once a T-Rex becomes a T-Rex, it can't evolve or does not evolve any further, which again, over a 65 million year period, hey, even the Mario Brothers movie said that dinosaurs evolved into human-like creatures, that King Koopa himself was a direct descendant of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. So again, there's so much science fail in this episode. I don't know what's going on. I mean, Jed Lynn, again, he wrote this episode. Now, how much he had involved with it, I don't know. But he should be smart enough. He's a grown man. He should know that, no, this cannot happen. That this is not something that should be happening. Unless he wants to write an explanation for it. He wants to explain it somehow in the series. Not to mention, it's not only dinosaurs that went extinct, but other types of species and plant life and other things and bacteria, microbes, viruses. Tons of things went extinct other than just the dinosaurs. But no, humanity survived. Everything is exactly as it is in modern day, except we have dinosaurs. Again, that can't happen. And that leads us to the biggest issue that people are debating now, because this episode, again, full of so many problems. But here's the kicker. If the meteor that destroyed the dinosaurs the Sledge was carrying did indeed hold the Dino Gems, as Tommy had suggested way back in Dino Thunder, then the Dino Gems would have been destroyed when they collided with the sun, and then there would be no Power Rangers Dino Thunder. That entire series is wiped because there's no Mesogog to bring dinosaurs back from extinction, because they never went anywhere. They probably would have never started the Tyrannodrome project. And who even knows how this affects Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, because they were based on the dinosaurs which again were extinct, but would they still base them on dinosaurs if dinosaurs were still around? And that even brings up the question of whether woolly mammoths, mastodons, and saber-toothed tigers were still around, because again, their evolution came after the dinosaurs were already gone. And by the way, mastodons and woolly mammoth, they died out because of, well, us. So again, what's going on there? Now the question becomes, is Power Rangers Dino Charge within the same continuity as our main series? Now, I will remind you, we have the current television series continuity, we have the first movie's continuity, and then we have the RPM continuity, which again is separate from the Prime universe, our main Power Rangers universe, which is why they cross over in Samurai, and so far the Neo Saban era is in line with the other Power Ranger seasons, although Megaforce is debatable, but as again, that's a theory that I had. Now, people are automatically saying, well, it's not in continuity because dinosaurs are around. Which I kind of get where they're going there, but what that basically does is it retcons all of Power Rangers, saying, yes, those events happened, but now we time traveled, and those events still happen, except now we have dinosaurs. Is basically what they're trying to go ahead and say, that so much that pretty much Power Rangers history has been rewritten and we've been rebooted in some fashion. Because again, if this is still in Power Rangers continuity, then Power Rangers Dino Thunder never happened at all, or could not have happened in the way that it did. Now, the other thing that we're looking at here is Dino Thunder, or Dino Charge, excuse me, could be a completely separate series onto its own. So basically, we have the current TV continuity, we have the movie continuity, the RPM continuity, and we have the Dino Charge continuity. We would have 4 timelines in Power Rangers, and we would have to see where Ninja Steel fits within that continuity, whether or not they have dinosaurs in their first episode or any type of mention of it. Because I'm going to tell you this right now, folks. If Ninja Steel doesn't have dinosaurs, we're going to have some problems here, because you can't say Ninja Steel is in the same continuity as Dino Charge, because I'm sure they're going to do a crossover. You watch, they'll do that at some point. You can't say it's in the same continuity, but never bring up or mention dinosaurs once within the series, because according to Dino Charge's final here, dinosaurs should be as ubiquitous as dogs, cats, hamsters, fish, basically. Because if they're putting them into a zoo, I'm sure they're around other places as well. Because again, it's not just Brachiosauruses and Tyrannosauruses and Triceratops that survived. It's also little dinosaurs that would have survived as well. So just kind of saying. Here's my 2 cents on what I think is happening. I always believe that everything is in continuity with everything else until I'm told otherwise. So again, when RPM first came out, that was the belief that after Operation Overdrive and Jungle Fury, at some point Vengeance takes over, kills all the Power Rangers before, and that's where we are, and the next series would have to pick up from that. And we didn't know if Samurai would happen before or after. We had to put the pieces together, because nobody told us. Then they told us the RPM does take place in another universe and another continuity altogether. Fine, we've cleared that up. But since End of Extinction did not clarify for us whether the series took place in the Prime continuity, the RPM continuity, or a separate continuity unto itself, I'm going to believe that this follows from the previous Neo Saban series, and that it all takes place from Day of the Dumpster up until End of Extinction are part of one timeline. That's what I'm going to believe until they tell us otherwise. And so far as I've been able to find, there has been no official word on what is canon, what is not canon. Is it easier to accept that there are 4 timelines? Certainly there is. But you can't always do that, folks, because here's what I have a problem with. If Judlin comes out and says, yes, Dino Charge was in a separate continuity, but Ninja Steel will be in a prime continuity or something like that, well, that's just lazy. Because he writes an interesting ending. That's an interesting ending, don't get me wrong there. But then he doesn't want to explore that in future series, because what do you do in a world where dinosaurs and humans coexist side by side? What do you do exactly? There are millions of possibilities of what you can do in a series, what you can write, the dangers that they would encounter, how civilization has formed. Maybe there are another class of humanoid dinosaurs that did evolve, and they have to coexist with humanity, and you got like the mutants and the humans from the X-Men kind of stuff. You could do those kinds of things and still have a Power Ranger series. You open up all these possibilities, but then you want to go ahead and say, nope, it's another continuity. We just wrote that as a cool ending. See ya. Bye. Thanks for wasting your 2 years on thinking this was in continuity. So I think I've talked enough here, folks. But yeah, that's basically what we have here. Is we have a ending that could be in continuity, could not be in continuity. We just don't know until we're given an official word on it. But here's my ultimate conclusion. End of Extinction sucked. It had some good ideas, destroying the Earth, bringing the dinosaurs back, rebooting the series continuity in some fashion, but it didn't deliver. It had poor logic, poor science, bad direction. Again, not bad acting, because I don't think they were even directed to act in a particular way. And it really screws up with the continuity. But again, we don't know what they're planning on doing with that long term. So I can't even say that's a bad decision until we find out what they're going to go ahead and do with it. But that's where we are. So again, horrible episode. Really bad way to go ahead and end Dino Charge. And I can only hope that Ninja Steel is better. I really do, folks. Because so far, I mean, again, Samurai, Megaforce, they were just horrible, just like horrible. Um, and Dino Charge, well, again, like I've always said, breath of fresh air, got some good ideas going, but somewhere in the second half of Dino Supercharge, boy, did we lose momentum. Boy, did we lose all the good stuff and start having mediocre plots and mediocre ideas. Let's have an idea. Let's have Ivan meet his great great grandson and they don't get along. Yeah. Let's have Coda work a cybernetic, robot, and again, so much potential with characters, the side characters, with the villains, things you could do, but you didn't build up to the final. You didn't put any type of science or real effort in there. And the most interesting things that you had, the destruction of the Earth and dinosaurs being alive in modern day, you don't do anything with them. You just show them, there it is, move on to the next plot point, or in the case of what they do with the dinosaurs, move into the end. That's it. End of the show. So those are my thoughts. What do you guys think? Was End of Extinction good? Was it bad? Where do you where do you think that fits on that scale? And of course, what do you think of the elements of what they did with the Dark Energy, the science behind it, the time travel aspect, the dinosaurs still being alive, and where do you feel the continuity is? Where does Dino Charge fit? Is it in the Prime timeline? Is it in the RPM timeline? Is it somewhere else? Leave a comment below. Let me know. But I want to thank you guys for listening, especially for this long. Again, I had a lot of stuff to go ahead and say. I apologize for the lateness of this video and all the others that are coming. But I hope to get some new videos here soon. Talk about the movie, Ninja Steel, Q Ranger, and just get back to a normal episode production. But I want to thank you guys again. Thank you for listening. Have a good evening. And the tavern is now closed.